What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Andrade versus Alberto Del Rio, a legend appears on NXT, Mandy turns down a WWE superstar, why Vince McMahon is killing the business, a hidden message in Baron Corbin's theme music, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Now, first story looks at Alberto Del Rio versus Andrade. The wrestling world never ceases to produce WTF moments, as seen by the announcement that former WWE superstar Andrade will battle former WWE champion Alberto Del Rio at a wrestling event being held on 31st July in McAllen, Texas. In this case, the disclaimer "card subject to change without notice" definitely applies, as Del Rio's trial begins in Texas on 3rd May in San Antonio. According to Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens, the card also features Kalisto, Primo, and Epico. As always, all wrestlers are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but Del Rio's not making any friends out here. We're wondering why Andrade was persuaded to wrestle him. Next up, $1 million cameo for Cameron. Our fans tuning into this week's edition of NXT got a blast from the past, as the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase showed up during a segment when Cameron Grimes went shopping for a luxurious watch for himself. Grimes, who boasts that he's the richest man in NXT thanks to investing in GameStop shares, was admiring his watch when Ted DiBiase appeared and commented, "That's not a bad piece, kid, but it's not a $1 million watch." I'm not gonna do the laugh, but you know how it goes. This was a great segment, and the only thing missing was DiBiase's bodyguard, Virgil. Remember, Cameron, there's Rich, and there's $1 Million Man Rich. Next up, Vince McMahon is killing the business. Vince McMahon's inability to realize what's made the WWE so successful continues, as seen by his apparent decision not to induct WWE Music Man Jim Johnston into the WWE Hall of Fame. Johnston, who created some of the most iconic entrance themes in WWE, including themes for The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Mr. McMahon, and Ultimate Warrior, and much more, was released in 2017, a travesty in and out of itself considering the current state of the WWE themes. Many fans feel Johnston is more than deserving of an induction in light of his contributions to the WWE soundtrack, but is yet to be mentioned. During an appearance on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, Johnson discussed his exclusion from the Hall of Fame. I think if they haven't already, they're not going to. It's one of those pesky things where you don't want to be petty about it, but it's like, you guys did fire me, but you want me to come back and put me over by doing the Hall of Fame? Would it be an honor? Sure, but at the same time, it would be uncomfortable. There are people there that I don't want to see and don't want to shake their hand, but it's not a big aspect of my life now. But one of the positive things after doing WWE for so long is that you get to write whatever you want. He also discussed the current themes in WWE and AEW, along with the importance of memorable entrance themes. I felt a great responsibility, like part of these guys' careers and successes were in my hand. The music now in WWE and in AEW. I'm sorry if this is mean, it's all really homogenous and really mediocre, and it doesn't have anything to do with the characters. And I think that's why there are less big stars. I don't think there are no potential big stars on the rosters hiding there. Before Steve Austin was Steve Austin, he was the ringmaster, and there was lots of stories like that. These people need the right storyline, the right costuming, and definitely the right music to lift them up. I definitely couldn't agree more with him. Sometimes the theme music makes or breaks a wrestler, but him not being inducted into the Hall of Fame is an absolute travesty. Just think of these wrestlers without their iconic music. Maybe their careers wouldn't be what they would be right now. Next up, the secret meaning to Baron Corbin's End of Days. And that wasn't all that Johnston discussed during the interview. The talented composer, whose music showed up on a slew of gold and platinum records for the WWE, as well as in several WWE studio films, discussed the hidden meaning behind Baron Corbin's End of Days theme. No, the WWE didn't put subliminal messages into the music telling fans to watch Raw and SmackDown, although that probably wouldn't be a bad idea with the show's ratings and all, but Jim revealed to Chris Van Vliet, "I wrote quite a few things, but they weren't being used because I was being politically squashed. It was End of Days for Baron Corbin," which was very apropos. If you look at the lyrics, there's always something personal to the themes. A lot of the times, it's very personal. Baron's was purely an epic. I'm bringing End of Days on you. It's very biographical. Also, I'm talking about the end is coming. I'm bowing out. The big goodbye was my End of Days. There's a lot of stuff in there, anger and disappointment, but that happened a lot. It's not uncommon for musicians to incorporate their feelings into music, so it's no surprise to hear Johnson so with the End of Days theme. Do you think a wrestling promotion should hire Johnson to help with their music themes? Does he belong in the Hall of Fame? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, an update on AJ Styles and Omos. Newly crowned Raw Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Omos have been absent from Raw since winning the belts at WrestleMania 37, leading to speculation why they haven't been on television. The WWE hasn't helped matters any by basically ignoring their absence, and fans are curious whether one or both superstars were injured or possibly subjected to disciplinary action. While the details are still murky, Brian Alvarez commented on the situation on the Wrestling Observer Live, saying, "Nobody is currently out on Raw, which means both men could show up, but the WWE isn't using them." The big question, of course, is why they're not using them. Do they have buyer's remorse over putting the tag title on Big Man Omos, who is green as grass, or is the WWE giving both men time off? Next up, a former AEW star announces retirement at age 29. Surprising news as former AEW wrestler Sadie Gibbs has announced she's retiring from wrestling at age 29. Gibbs, who debuted in the Squared Circle in 2017, worked in AEW from 2019 until her 2020 release. Gibbs posted the announcement via Instagram, an excerpt which follows, "I'm retiring, hope you can watch this end-minute show reel. Letting go is never easy, but it's necessary. It's been a really confusing year and hard for me, but I've always been good at following my instinct and letting go and having nothing but grace in the path ahead of me. I've decided in order for me to excel in my new endeavors, coaching, speaking, teaching, being the leader which I've always been, everything we do isn't forever. It's a stepping stone, a chance to evolve and grow through. My vision is big, starting with short films, action movie scene, and a lot of my plans are centered around my undefinable brand." It sounds like Gibbs has a lot planned for her post-wrestling future, and at age 29, she always has the option of returning. And finally, Mandy Rose turns down a superstar on Twitter. And last but not least, it looks like WWE superstar Dolph Ziggler is having fun with his short-lived 2020 storyline romance with Mandy Rose, and he's enlisted the help of former WWE superstar Hornswoggle to woo her back. Dolph apparently paid Bosick to make a cameo video on his behalf, wherein he asked Mandy to take Dolph back. Dolph followed up with the following tweet, "Kitten, Hornswoggle is right. You are as loved by me as I am beloved by the world," tagging in Mandy Rose. Dolph then invited Mandy to watch the Rough and Ready 14 event with him. Never forget, Hornswoggle has heart of gold and hands of stone. Mandy Rose want to watch R&R 14 together? Mandy wasn't impressed, replying, "Dude, give it up." However, Dolph isn't giving up easy and replied, "My new number? Done and done. Check DMs. Only 99 cents a minute." While this is probably just a case of Mandy and Dolph having fun on social media, it's the most publicity Mandy has had since WWE split her and Sonya Deville up, sent her to Raw and paired her with Dana Brooke in a tag team, best known for Mandy falling on her behind at WrestleMania 37 during her entrance. But there you have it, guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.